What is up, guys? It's Verns back with another Supercoach video. This time it is the round 6 review. I know I didn't do one last week. You can probably hear in my voice. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to get to one this week, but I've ended up really sick and taking the day off work. I started a new job about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I started a new job about 2 weeks ago. My wedding's less than a month away. I've just been super busy in life, and I just, didn't really have time to do these videos, but just ended up sick, so had a little bit of extra time today. I would just like to appreciate those that have liked, subscribed, and tuned in for the consistent injection of Supercoach content directly into their YouTube feed. I'm going to try and make this a quick one because, as I said, you can probably hear it, but I am sick, and I just want to get this done and out the way. But we can see that's got a 2,084, lost 12,000 ranks. Now, the most disappointing thing here is the ZZ. And what I will mean is if we jump to my team, you will see what I mean. We had Captain ZZ this week. We were looping him for Dacos, and he ended up being laid in. Meaning we didn't get the loop. We got a 29 in our captaincy, so we lost 111 points there. Plus we didn't get McAndrew's score on field, so there's another 79 points. So 190 points down the drain. And that's what I mean by my rank. You see 38k went down 12,000 places. If this ZZ loop doesn't happen, don't get me wrong, some people got it worse than me. Some people were running like a Grundy as the emergency and they lost the Grundy score. But the extra 190 points would be me 15,000. Now, as I mentioned, that affects everyone's score, but 15,000 for me, just straight up going from it. Which is really disappointing that we just kind of lost so many points unnecessarily. Ended up with a bad week when it should have been a good week. Obviously the few weeks ago, Days Gospels are laid out, and I missed that as well. And this is probably the most casual I've been about Supercoach for a while, and that's not a bad thing. I don't mean that in a rude way. I still love this game. As I'm just very busy at the moment. The new job, it's a lot. It is a lot. I'm exhausted from it like every day. It's a lot. And then we've got this wedding, like I said, less than a month away, and so much is going into that. On top of it, it was my Bucks on the weekend, so I'll be honest, I didn't look at any of footy on Sunday because I was so seedy. I was dead. We were out to like 5 a.m. and I was straight fried. So missed this. It was just unfortunate weekend for it to happen. Any other week I'm usually a bit more on top of it. Saying that, obviously it happened a little bit with Dacos. We wish he was Smith, probably getting an extra 150 points there. Probably the most casual I've been and the most I've ever been caught out from laid-ins and outs. I do think this season's probably been worse than any others with this. Obviously, we had LDU a few years ago, like round 1. So, it does suck. I wish things were going better. But in hindsight, the team's really not doing that bad. And we're losing points here and there off stupid things. But unless we're winning, unless these extra 190 points, extra 150 from Smith, extra 340 points in total, unless that literally wins me Supercoach, then it doesn't really matter. It sucks that my ranking doesn't look as good, but it's really not that big of a deal. We've got the Supercoach Cup starting this week. Basically, if you're 80k or higher, you have a game this week. And anyone lower than that, you end up with a bye this week, and then you start your games next week. So I hope everyone looks forward to that. That's something that we'll start targeting a bit myself personally. Obviously, we're blown out a bit in the rankings. I'm happy with how my team's going, and I think the team will progress well. And I'd like to be able to actually stand up and do pretty well in that. But you never know. So for last week's trades, we did end up bringing in Archie Roberts and Rochelle. So we ended up having, obviously we have Zorko in the team previously, injured. Obviously Robertson was injured. Buderick was injured. So those three went out. We brought in Roberts, Rochelle, and Murdoch. Overall not terrible. It sucks that Rochelle had his worst game of the season when I brought him in. But he had the good CBA role. And at the end of the day, as long as he's got that good role as a forward, sometimes he'll have a down game, he's still new to that CBA role, but as long as he's got it, then I think it's overall fine. It just sucks it was a bit of a down week from him. We lost rookie roulette a bit, as we see as well, with Jux on field, with Philippou on field, Steen. I had him as the emergency. When he popped this score, I really wanted to somehow find a way to get him on, but I couldn't, unfortunately. Look, as I said, not that bad of a week, and really at 190 points to this score, and that's a pretty good score overall. That would have been 2270 or so. So let's let's look at what we're going to do this week. I could go through every individual player. I kind of want to make this quick. I've got this crazy head cold and I'm so stuffy in here right now. We're not doing that. This week, the plan is to actually burn another boost because I want to be doing a lot of things, I guess. It does become a bit hard because when we look at the break-even games, like the players that are ready to go, technically Jux is ready to go, debatably ready to go because of the high break-even, but he doesn't have enough money in his head to really justify it. You add the extra 40, 50k on, these Smiths and Sarongs and Grills. I think Jux will bounce back. I think he will be fine. But I mean, I could always technically keep like a Smith or a Grill or a Sarong instead of a Jux, I think. Actually, I don't. No, I do think I need the 40k. No, I don't need it actually. But just because these guys break evens, they're close to their averages. Yes, they could still make money, but I think hypothetically, it's like even if they go 80 over the next 3 weeks, these guys, because their scores in their cycle aren't huge, they might make an extra 40k or so. You know what? You could just bring in a premium that's underpriced, and that premium can make 40k. So it's really not a big deal, and you can also go to rookies that are going to make a lot more over that period of time. So I think I will be going these 3 out. That's sort of what I decided. Now this is really interesting though. This is where I don't know if this is even worth a trade or if this is a huge waste. So I was looking at Elijah Sardis. Now obviously Anderson, he's just the number 1 pick. He's looked great for Collingwood. Sardis, who's had 2 really, really good games, and the question mark here with Sardis, I guess, is like, sorry, I can move Bull Myers up there. So the thing with Sardis here is it's like he's 220k. He's only 70k cheaper than Jaeger. So like going down and making 70k, is that really worth it? Like Sardis is going to have to make 150 more than Jaeger. So if Jaeger ends up getting to 330, 360, whatever, then Sardis is going to get to 500 to no, more than him. Sorry. So obviously he's going to make 70 off that, but he's going to get to like 400k to really make it worth it in my eyes. So it might be a bad play, but he's shown the scope that he is a scorer. He just never played enough game time. And then we kind of saw this, like these 2 games. He's had 2 good games in a row. Not the easiest opponents in Gold Coast. And then Melbourne, they actually flogged, which was crazy. Collingwood this week, I think he'll perform well, and then he's got a pretty easy fixture coming up in reality. So I do think Sardis, he was doing like 50% not CBS, 50% TOG last year, and he was averaging like, in the 40s because of it or whatever, but no, that's not even counting his sub games. He played a lot of 50% TOG, scored 50, 60% TOG, scored 60. You up his TOG to this 70-80, all of a sudden, then he's bumping these 70-80s out. If anything, I think he's a decent points per minute kind of guy, like a bit over his TOG. So, gets a 70% TOG, gets an 80 score, 80% TOG gets a 88 score, So I think I'll take a punt on Sardis, and this is where it becomes interesting. So we got the flex position. We can basically pick anyone that we want. And there's 2 that I'm tossing up here, and everyone's going to hate me for this, I reckon. Because they're just like, Vern, this seems dumb. One of them is Zerha, and then one of them is Luke Parker. So Luke Parker, he's currently D1. He's been incredible this year. We know I love Luke Parker as a player. I started him last year. I've had him a lot of seasons in reality. And I really rate Luke Parker as a player, and I really want him in my team, and I think he will be a top 6 defender, so I will get him in my team. And originally I planned on trading him in, but then I thought Zerha, and I had to sit here and think about Zerha for a bit. Zerha, this is probably really wacky, but he went behind the ball, he played in defense, and he played off defense, so he scored 140. Now, there is multiple layers to Zerha as well. So yeah, he got this 140. Yeah, I'm sure he's not going to play Tigers every week. He's not going to get 140s every week. But he's playing in the forward line. At the end of the day, for Luke Parker to be a viable defender, he has to be averaging 108 plus. And yes, he's doing that, and he's been great. So I really do want him. Where Zerha to be top 6 or even keeper material really needs to go 95 plus in the forward line. The forward line kind of sucks in that regards. I could look at it but can't be bothered. So it's a lot less the threshold that you need to do in the forward line than you need to do in defense. So lower threshold, and if he has this role, he can clearly score in it. On top of that, he has a -7 break even. Now let's just say hypothetically worst case scenario. Sorry, I should have kept this up. He comes out and he gets I say worst case, but this would still be better than any of the scores he got before defense. But he comes out He's projected to get 50 and 60, go up basically 60k. Now, I think those are way under. I mean, if this guy can get close to like these 80s to 90, he could get you a good almost 100k. So I feel like it's a low risk versus high reward, where it's like this guy could be an absolute keeper, an absolute steal. You know, I know Clarko talked about him being flexible and being able to move him around, which is great. But if he plays, no, that's not great. That's terrible. We want him in defense. But I feel like if he plays defense for like 3 weeks before things maybe flip around, you know, that'll be enough for him to have made 150k and then just get flipped to an actual premium. So I feel like, yeah, once again, low risk, high reward. I also think it's one of those plays that I should make where I'm out at 38k and you got to do something spicy, and I think this is the kind of spicy move I want to make. Now, I talked about, just wanting to bring in the best players, and I think Luke Parker is one of those best players, and I do want to bring him in, but I'm also looking at this going, like this could be a huge kind of, not even pod play, but it makes me think of when Aaron Hall hit the scene sort of thing. Actually, Zerha's good down there. Well, she's good down there, last player in the round. But it was just like huge pod play where Aaron Hall played a couple of back-to-back games off halfback, and if you jumped on him, you just went flying into the, an F6 plus keeper, one of the best scorers in the game, and then eventually broke down from there. But yeah, I mean, Zerha, this might be going the early crow because he did it for one game, came out with 140, and I've just gone, yeah, let's do it. But it's the risk I think I want to take. As I said, falling behind a little bit, so I think I just want to take a punt on this. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, then we still make some cash off it and we rotate him around. Yeah, probably have to burn an extra trade, so it sucks overall, but I'm willing to take the risk versus reward. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this. Yeah, man, I don't even have my thing. Normally I have this like this. But yeah, so team for the actual week, I think Gawn's the most obvious VC there is. I'd hope Max Heath doesn't play with him and Cappy scoring, but he's going into Samson Ryan. He should absolutely dominate. I hope Bond's fine. I don't want to rage about Bond. It sucks. Terrible trading. Yeah, I've had some bad trades this year overall. And then I think, like, following up, you either go for a Sinclair or a Dacos. Obviously, Dacos on the Anzac Day game, or Sinclair into West Coast. He'll probably drop 140, but I think there's a good chance we just want to take Gawn score. Saying that, we don't have any loops. Our only loop we had was ZZ, and I'm terrified of doing that again. Absolutely terrified of doing that again. So if I did do that and then we found out at the last second of this game that, hey, ZZ's are laid in, what am I going to, like, a Sheasel captain off that? Yeah, it doesn't feel very good. Yeah, it does not feel very good at all. God damn it. God damn it, ZZ. But yeah, that's going to be it for the week. That's going to be my ideal captains, my team, how we're traveling. And once again, I'm going to be really sorry in advance because, yeah, just over this next month, I'm going to be so busy. And there's a good chance that you're going to see me pretty sporadically, if at all, between now and, like, after the week of the 18th, which might be like, what, round 10 or something, I think that is. Yeah, round 10. You might not see me till after that, or sporadically, if I somehow find some time. But yeah, till then, guys, I appreciate all those that have tuned in, liked, and subscribed for the consistent injections of Supercoach content directly into the YouTube feed. Please tell me down low if ZZ absolutely cucked you all too. Peace, later.